Alan here, and I've got something interesting for you today. I want to talk with you about spending a winter in an RV. You may have seen some of the videos earlier in the year showing off my RV. Well, now it's the beginning of March. It's around March 5th, and well, it looks like the weather's starting to break. But even last night, it went to about 10 degrees below zero. So it has made life interesting. So as recently as last night, the water outside froze up. That's partially my fault. And the cable is out, which may or may not have anything to do with the weather. But it's been a long winter. Starting in December, we started seeing sub-zero weather. In January, the lowest observed in this area was about minus 35 on 2 or 3 nights in a row. And daytime highs were near zero, even during the middle of the afternoon. So keeping the RV functioning was a challenge. Some of the issues that I ran into, and I've got some video for you outside the RV so you can kind of see how I dealt with it, included the water freezing all over the place at every location you can imagine. It included the levers for the gray and black water tanks freezing in position so they couldn't be operated. It included the refrigerator dying on me. Believe it or not, it needed what was called a winter kit, and we thought that the whole thing in the back, the cooling unit, was shot. It included the bay doors freezing on me. I mentioned the cables out, and the truck ended up, diesel truck, not starting when we got into that super cold weather, and I bit the bullet and purchased a block heater. That was a $500 repair. The refrigerator ended up being a $500 repair too. So it takes a different mentality. I don't want to say it takes somebody special. I'm nobody special. But it takes a different mentality to survive through all this, because you have to realize not only is the weather outside kind of extreme, and I don't know the extent of any damages from the winter because I haven't tried pulling in my slide outs. I haven't checked the roof. I haven't looked for leaks. It's a little too early for that. The melting season is just beginning. Looks like tomorrow we're going to be in the mid-40s, and it looks like Thursday we're probably going to be up around 50. So it's going to feel like summer. But you also have to realize you're in a small town. And when you're in a small town, things don't happen all that fast. The refrigerator took the better part of 3 months. It's the way it goes. The cable has been out. It'll be out. The water in the campground comes and goes. Most of the time it works. But pumps fail, pipes freeze, and when that happens, sometimes the water leaks out all over the place, not immediately next to me this winter, but it leaks out and the water pressure goes down, and then the campground owner has to get on it. We've had entrances closed to various parts of the campground because the snow just got ahead of us. And again, nature of the beast. The upside, 6 miles away from some of the best skiing I've ever done. 6 miles away from a mountain that if I don't want to drive there in the morning, I walk out the door and I hop on a bus. Not a bad deal. Bus is free, by the way. Bus runs anywhere from about 5:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the morning. So it really accommodates, and it runs every few minutes. The mountain, phenomenal. Great ski area, great people, great ski school. That's what I've been doing all winter, in addition to my online business. And the whole concept of being location neutral is really a neat concept. I like being location neutral, and what I mean by that is I like having business online where I could be anywhere. This summer, I'm going to travel just a few miles away, go to a state park, be a campground host, shore up the RV for next winter, and before you know it, next winter will be here. I don't expect the snow to fully melt until early May. I'm hoping to be able to pull out of here around May 1st. I'm hoping to be able to get into my summer spot at about the same time. It's only 25 miles away. But if I can't, I'll make other plans. I'll stay here a little longer, or I'll do a little traveling if I can get out, tour around, and then come back and go spend the summer up at State Park as soon as enough snow melts. A couple of winters ago, the park ranger told me that come Memorial Day, or a week before, the campground hosts had to dig their own way into their spots. So I don't think we're going to have that much snow. We're about, right now, 23 inches below the seasonal normal. So it looks like hitting the seasonal norm is almost a done deal. It would be hard to imagine that from March 5 through about May 15, which is about the end of the snow season, it can snow into June. It could even snow in July, but it's rare. It's hard to believe we won't get at least 23 inches, so we will hit at least a normal season, which for this area is great news because there's been a drought and there's been water concerns. I don't want to say water rationing, but there have been concerns. So I'm going to roll this video now into a walk through the outside so you can see what's up. And I just kind of wanted to give you a feel for what it's like to be in an RV in the winter in a vehicle that, well, you know, really isn't made for 35 below weather. The insulation, the access to the water, things like that, you have to do the right thing and you have to do it right. I've gone through a lot of propane this winter, probably the better part of, I want to say 400 gallons of propane. So be it. You know, you do what you got to do. So I've been burning energy, more propane than electric. But I do have a fireplace back here, which is an electric heater. I do have a space heater up in my bedroom, which has been very helpful in keeping the bedroom comfortable at night. I kind of like it chilly, but one of the other things I learned is that you've got to keep the underbelly warm. So in the coldest part of winter, I was actually punching the heat up to 66, 67, which is really more than I need. I usually keep it around 61, 62. That's fine. I mean, I'll wear a sweatshirt and, you know, an overshirt and all that, or a turtleneck, mock turtleneck. But you know, you have to think about not just your own comfort, but you have to think about keeping the rig warm enough to keep the underbelly warm enough so that you don't start getting freeze-up problems down there. Had a couple lights underneath. You'll see that in the outside video and more. All right, Alan Sills, if you want to give me a call for any reason and talk about it, 561-676-1205. Once again, 561-676-1205. Or if you want to learn a little bit about what the businesses are I'm doing and how I'm funding this absolutely amazing lifestyle. All right, thank you.
So we're walking up towards my RV. It's the first week of March. You can still see that there is still snow on the roof and on the slide outs. I've tried to keep a minimum amount of snow on the slide outs, but we'll see in a few weeks how much damage, if any, was done during the winter. The RV is still pretty much encased in snow. We're coming up on the sunny side of it, the south side. Notice I've still got my insulation up, and that's going to stay up for at least a few more weeks. I'll point out a few things here. You've got the sewer hose covered in snow and also covered in insulation, which is necessary for keeping it running, along with keeping the water running inside pretty much full time at a trickle. You have a insulated bag here for the water spigot, which also has a heating coil provided by the campground. If you're a careful observer, you can see a little bit of light coming out from the panel, the insulated panel at the base of the RV where I'm aiming it now. That light is there to generate some extra heat underneath, which was necessary in January and February for the levers to keep working. That'd be for the gray tank and for the black tank. Got all kinds of electric stuff here, and that electric stuff runs over to a heating coil. I actually have 2 heating coils, one for the sewer and one for the water. The heating coil for the water is entering right there where you see it. You may see the light on right there, and it wraps around the water hose, which then has styrofoam wrapped around it, goes underneath what we're walking on here and comes up right here where again it's still under the snow. The snow insulates it, so that's kind of nice, and this has kept the water running with temperatures as low as at least 20 below, and I think I'm going to get away with 35 below next winter now that I know what I'm doing. This area in here, you can see a little bit of yellowing. That's caused actually by heat, believe it or not, and that was caused by this drop lamp. The drop lamp was in here and used during the peak of the winter when temperatures were minus 20, minus 30 at night, minus 35, to keep the water hose liquid, and also to keep those levers moving and functioning. At one point or another, the water was frozen. The water here at the source had failed. The refrigerator, which is inside of this wall, had failed and had to be taken out from through the RV. The sewer hose, until I figured out what I was doing, was frozen solid, and the only thing to fix that was a lot of running water. I did get up and clean off the slide outs several times. Now transporting to the north side, traveling over to the north side, you can still see there's quite a bit of snow here piled up against the north side of the rig. It's at least 3 feet, maybe 4 feet in places, and it's completely covering the insulation. So even if I was thinking about removing the insulation, which I'm not, it's not going anywhere for a few weeks. I am aiming tentatively for a May 1st departure, but that all depends on the weather. You can see that the snow is up to and even a little over the base of this bay. It's probably the highest the snow has been all winter. I have no access to my propane. I need no access to my propane because on the other side of this mound of snow is another mound of snow which covers the 120-gallon propane tank, which has been refilled several times. And if I come around towards the front, which is still the pathway here, I gave up on trying to keep it open. It's got about a foot of snow on it. You can see that there's the hitch, and just below it is still a snowbank. And the road is covered with, well, the bank is about 4 feet of snow right there. So this may even get deeper before it ends. We're not done with snow yet. We have a day or two of milder weather coming up. There's some beautiful conditions here in the RV park, but we then have a lot of snow coming in. This is the door that enabled the refrigerator to come out with maybe ½ an inch of room, and this is the pathway that was taken by the mechanic who brought it out. So refrigerator, water pump, at one point or another all failed. The water, the electric never failed, and the propane never failed. So those were kind of two critical things to have not fail. All right, so this is a shot of the RV park in general. You can see there are a few other units here with me, a few other people living out here. That Airstream has been here all winter. That Arctic Fox has been here for much of the winter. There are some cabins here, and you can see from the height of the snowbanks that snow's pretty substantial here. Snowbanks are easily 5 feet high. We're going to take you over to the river, which I'm told from a friend just broke in the last day or so. Temperature right now is probably about 15-20 degrees. Comfortable, but again headed down to zero. We're walking up to the bridge. This separates the RV side from the tent side. Naturally, at this time of year, there's nobody tenting. think there's one fellow over on the tent side that's got a bunch of RVs, and he lives on limited electricity and such. Bridge is in pretty rough shape for this time of year. Be expected. You can see all this beautiful snow hanging on the trees. Again, we had probably at least 5 or 8 inches down here in the valley, 10 or 15 up on the mountain. You can see the river. Big breaks in it. Big chunks of ice. First early signs of spring around here. You go down towards the sun. And it's just a little breezy, variably cloudy, some snow showers moving through. And we've got a warm-up coming up and then more snow. So we kind of pan back towards the campground area.